Yay! The 80s journals are finished as of today, and I will be doing a flip through of all of them, probably one at a time in separate videos over the next day or day and a half, depending on how long it takes. I am starting on one of the fabric cover journals today, and I have 4 fabric journals and 4 hardcover journals to show you. They are all now reserved. However, if the person who has reserved it decides to back out, they can email me and let me know, and I will make sure everyone knows that it will be going into my shop, and I will choose a day and time to do that. So, without further ado, here is the first one. I'm going to raise up the camera just a little bit, which may affect the sound quality, but I want to make sure to get the whole journal. This journal is one of the fabric covers, and it is a light blue with hearts material. I'm pretty sure this is material from the 80s, and I have named this journal Danielle. I went and looked up the top girls' baby names in 1985, and I used those as the names for each of these journals. This journal has 3 signatures, and it has a sewn in permanent tie. It's like a very sheer rainbow striped ribbon. It has a removable tassel, and I am most excited about these. These are, I tried to recreate the 80s chain necklaces that any kid in the 80s had. I am sick that I let go of mine. I have 1 or 2 charms remaining, but most of mine are gone. I might do a separate tutorial on how I made these, but I put smaller charms on this type of link, and then I ended up having to use a larger link to put the, what I call true 80s clips with the larger charms, and we added a bell. I say we because I had my daughter help me with the jump rings. We added a bell to make it authentic 80s, and there are a mixture of items on here. There is, each one has 3 Shrinky Dinks. Some of them have shaky things in them. We've got various glass, plastic. All of them, I tried to include at least 1 authentic item from my own personal Barbie stash. I had a lot of Barbie stuff growing up, and my daughter really didn't play with it much. She preferred ponies. So all of it's been sitting in the attic in boxes, and so I decided to share some with you guys. And so this is a little plate from one of my Barbie sets. And yeah, each one I'll show you because each journal has different charms and a different feel and a different color scheme. This is a removable paper clip bookmark charm, I guess, for lack of a better word. And this is just a myriad of plastic buttons and beads. This is one of, I do have some vintage dime store coin operated toys, you know, the little toy bubbles that you could get with a quarter or 5 cents. And so I've tied some of those onto these as well. There's another little bauble, a little pacifier. I feel like we all had pacifier necklaces back then too. So everything just looks and sounds amazing. It's so sparkly. I love it. The back is just, you know, plain fabric. The front has a topper on it that is layered cardstock, glittered cardstock, and a wooden unicorn with some glitter. And I added this little star so it would look kind of like Rainbow Bright's horse. And then I have 4 little puffy hearts added there. Like I said, this is removable. You can just remove the key ring itself if it gets to be in your way, or maybe you want to attach it to something else. This measures 9 1/4 by 6 3/4, and all of them have all of the fabric cover ones have a 2-inch spine and 3 signatures. All right, let's show you the inside. I believe that this series of journals is my chunkiest, most ephemera-filled, most, hopefully, authentic ephemera-filled that I have ever made. And I think it's because I've been saving up things for these things for over 3 years. I have finally been able to use some of these items that I've just been holding on to and putting in a box or a folder. The inside has a double corner pocket, and we have a little library card sticker and a ticket. Lots of hand-sewn items in here. This is some 80s fabric made to a tag with eyelash trim. And this is just a journaling card with some 80s calico. Each journal will also come with, oh, I didn't show you this. Each journal will come with a personalized safety pin with your name on it, or a nickname, whatever the purchaser reserver would like. This is my name. I'm not showing the others because of privacy, but that is the one that I just made with my name on it. Also, each journal will come with a set of 80s journaling prompts, 80s childhood journaling prompts. I'll probably put this in my Ko-fi shop as well if you guys are working on your own 80s journals at home and you'd like to have that to go by. I'm just going to remove this so it won't get in our way as we're going through. This is a double pocket with some unicorn ribbon. Each journal will come with several 80s trivia cards. This is a sticker that I just got in Happy Mail this week. I guess it's more of a label. A little journaling card, and this is from the game Girl Talk. Someone gave these to me in Happy Mail, so each journal will get one of these. Also, I had to do it again, guys. Just like with the Sesame Street journals, I included QR codes of fun 80s interactive links and playlists that I wanted you guys to experience to bring back some happy memories. And that's just made with some really fun iridescent star PVC. We have a vintage flashcard and a tie-dyed tag. This is some pink eyelet, and then here we have a little charm of a unicorn. Hope you can see that. I'm gonna have to really raise my camera up for the bigger journals. This is a yellow Rolodex card. I did some fodder with Babysitter Club book pages, and I used watercolors, a lot of fluorescent watercolors, and I tried to make a lot of 80s shapes and items. There are several fluorescent index cards in here. This is some vintage gift wrap with unicorns and rainbows on it. Speaking of gift wrap, while I'm thinking about it, if the purchaser or person who's reserved these would like to add on one or both of these items, they may. I made 2 extras, and if someone does not want one of these add-on packs, I'll have more than 2 extras to put in my shop. One is an 80s themed or 80s inspired or authentic 80s fabric cluster or fabric stack. This is all the fabric that I had gathered to use in these journals and have been collecting over the years. I just put a little bit of each one in here. Each stack has the same fabrics, and yeah, just a lot of fun if you want to have some extra for making more ephemera. And then I also have these gift wrap snippet scrap packs that include 19 different 80s gift wrap. These are, many of them have been used, and so they've got little tape still stuck to them or whatever, but that just makes them more interesting in my opinion. And there's lots of different genres in here, mostly childhood, but I did put a few florals and things like that. All right, this is from a Ziggy cross-stitch book, and I have a little cluster here. This is computer paper, and I put a Richard Scarry fussy cut there, some pastel rainbow ribbon. They all have authentic 80s children's book pages strewn throughout. This is from a Care Bears book. Each one will also receive a cootie catcher, if you know what that is. I'm sure you do if you're an 80s kid. And this is just, I received this magazine. It was like a My Little Pony magazine in Happy Mail, and I made several journaling cards out of the images in it. This is from, of course, one of the Little Miss or Little Mister books. I stapled a little confetti there, some headphones, a fabric pocket. This is a coupon for cereal from an 80s magazine, a little note sheet with an 80s sticker. And then this is taken from an actual strawberry shortcake bed skirt. So there are several tags and or pockets in these made from this material. And here's some lace. This is now that I have my Big Shot, loving it. I had some die cuts that were different shapes, and I made some cellophane peekaboo pockets with it. So fun. I will try to remember to show you how I did this. It's not my original idea. I got this from Cheaply Chic. She did it for a journal for her daughter, and I fell in love with them and decided to try it. A strawberry note sheet. I tried to put one recipe in each journal of foods that were popular in the 80s, either for dinner or something that our moms might make for a party or a holiday. So we have chow mein. I know we had chow mein a lot growing up. And here's a Poochie note sheet. A piano lesson page. This is a birthday recipe booklet from Tupperware. This is a vintage tape, not vintage, I guess maybe vintage, maybe 90s. I found an iridescent table cover at a thrift store, and I just sewed the two layers together, and you can journal on the back. It's kind of like a napkin, and I just thought it was a really cool addition to these. This is just from a children's storybook from the 80s. An 80s sticker of a little pup on some handwriting paper. Another one of my fodder pieces. That's, of course, a ring pop. Strawberry shortcake book page. This is a Rita flip with a cluster that I've made with some colored threads and some brayered paper and a little diskette, floppy disk. This is a piano playing, what you would use to log your hours. 80s fabric tag with that yarn type stuff that we would put on our ponytails, and Milton Bradley money. Here's a little Cabbage Patch thermos down here, and each journal will come with a sticker. These are all 80s stickers, or 80s inspired, like this one. But a lot of them are authentic 80s. I've been holding on to these stickers for a very long time, just waiting for the right moment to use them. There are scratch and sniff stickers in here, several of them. And how can I not include Mr. Yuck? Did you know that you can still write poison control in Pittsburgh and get free Mr. Yuck stickers if you send them a self-addressed stamped envelope? Now you know. Look it up. And each one will also come with a set of stickers that is from an old VHS tape from my family, from my mom and dad. Again, I don't throw away many things. This is from one of those yes and no quiz books. My mom and dad got these for us for any big road trip that we had. And I just put one of these little tabs on it. Here is some colored notebook paper and a cluster with some primary colors. Brayered and stamped paper. Each journal will come with a shaker card. This is the Popples with pink and green sequins and glitter. Another trivia card. Each one will come with a sheet of teddy bear journaling paper. That's also from the 80s. And a snippet of a wallpaper border. A tag. Little Miss note sheet. This is from a craft book from the 80s. What's on the front is not necessarily what's on the back, but I just included it in case you wanted to use the images for ephemera making. And my sweet husband helped me with this project. I wanted a mall map or a mall directory of sorts, and so I created a fictitious mall. Here it is. And I wrote down all of the stores that I remember being in the mall in the early 80s. And he created this amazing architectural drawing. We all remember walking into a new mall and staring at this thing to try to get our bearings and find out where we wanted to go first. He even included an arcade. I don't know where the arcade ended up. There's the food court, I believe, and here's the fountain. I will probably put this in my coffee shop as well. Here's a stamp from the 80s of the Space Shuttle program. This was a sort of a decade reissue set. That's why it's a little bit higher. I think they came out in '99, right before the turn of the new century. They made some decade stamps. That was also in Happy Meal. They all have some neon colored labeling tape phrases that I thought came from the 80s. I didn't necessarily say all these words when I was a kid, but we all heard them. Miss Piggy, actually Muppet Baby Miss Piggy, and then a little rainbow ribbon stapled on. I made some clusters out of some neon tissue with confetti in it. Okay, guys, don't laugh, but I tried my hand at making my own Memphis designs. I don't really love it, but I was like, you know what? I worked hard on it. I'm just going to toss it in. And another index card and a snippet of some Peanuts ribbon that is authentic from the 80s. Oops. Washi tape. A little cutout from a magazine of ravioli. Who didn't eat ravioli a lot growing up? I did. Seersucker with hearts. I feel like we all had a top made out of this. I know I did. A little digital of a cassette, fabric covered tag, and a Ziggy image sewn onto cardstock. And this is that Tupperware page, the back of it. A cluster made with that 80s net. I guess that's the best word for it, just net. And I put a Purple Heart Brad in it. Here's a Babysitter's Club note sheet. Another fluorescent card, but I found these at my craft reuse store. They were sort of like embellishments for t-shirts and sweatshirts. They kind of snap together, but I was like, I'm going to put these on index cards. Very fun colors. And then a division flashcard. I made some ruffles with some gift wrap. This is a birthday invitation. How beautiful is that? A Precious Moments prayer card. A sheet of 80s wallpaper. And one of those little notes that teachers would send home. I got this in Happy Meal just this week. And I found this at an estate sale. I found a set of Long John Silver's playing cards. So excited. 1989, it was their anniversary year. Stapled a little bow here. Here's a fabric pocket made with that beautiful brushed watercolor floral. Did I leave something in there? No. Each one will come with several Barbie pages out of a Barbie fashion book from the 80s, and this is some gift wrap made into a journaling card. There's a little sticker on the back of this computer paper and another phrase. These are wanting to pop up, but whenever I tried to glue them down, the Fabri-Tac sort of melted the plastic. So you might want to put a piece of clear tape over these to secure them. I just didn't want to try the glue. This is sort of I bought this, now I don't know what to do with it craft. This was one of the things that you can find at Dollar Tree that you hang over a doorway for a party or against a wall for a photo backdrop. And it was really fun, bright fluorescent colors. So I cut it into manageable segments like 12 inches long. And I asked my husband, what does this remind you of? And he said, when a cassette tape sort of spits tape out. And I was like, that's it. So I stuffed it in some tulle and then sewed around it and then sewed a little cassette tape on the corner to sort of show that's what it is. These were so fun to make. They do make the journal a little puffy, but it's very tactile. Here's a little flip pad that I've sewn in with the little 80s sticker on the top. This is some of that confetti tape that I made on a video this past week. I got this idea from Pink Paper Peppermints. Another one of my fodder pieces. A Holly Hobby greeting card. a stationery page with teddy bears, and a Sesame Street flashcard. This is some faux leather from Hobby Lobby that's rainbow. I love this. This is from the cover of a Care Bears soft cover book. I embossed some cardstock, and this is one of the sewing pattern kids from one of my sewing pattern catalogs. This is the actual cover of a, do you guys remember the Scribbler? The flashcard series? This is just a little coloring book that I found in an estate sale of Finish the Picture. Rose Petal Place book, and Notes Home from Teacher with Snoopy on it. Here we have a playing card, vintage Ziggy gift wrap, and a calendar page, one of those checkbook calendars from 1986. This is from a 1980s cake decorating idea book. A ledger that I made into a pocket page. Berenstain Bears. You have a little unicorn sticker. This is from a vintage Care Bears cookbook. This is from Muppets Take Manhattan comic book that I got sent in Happy Mail. So amazing that I was able to include these. This is from a vintage Barbie Golden book. Uno card. Strawberry shortcake card. Oh, this flips open. And I just put a little tape here. Flips open, and this is alcohol sprayed paper. This is just an 80s, it's been written on and graded, 80s children's workbook. Here's some tracing paper. This is a book of Fisher-Price Little People. You'll see them on the other side. It's like a word dictionary. Pink lined paper. Another sewing pattern kid. This is from Little Miss and Little Mrs. Dictionary, I think. And then we have a mauve and blue cluster here. 2 pockets on this page, and we have a teeny tiny Topps baseball card. This is just a set of heart-shaped tags. These are authentic 80s, and this is a bulletin board letter. Trivia card, another ticket, and a little Raggedy Andy playing card. Some pastel trim here. A library pocket with some 80s wallpaper border made into a tag. A to-do list that looked very 80s to me. And another cluster, and a punched page with some washi. This says Grody. Do you guys remember that one? This is some... Okay, so this is a sheet that I've received in Happy Mail of it was like a rub-on sticker scene play set of Rainbow Bright. And I covered the back. I don't remember what was on the back, but it was not what I wanted to put in this journal. So I covered the back with some rainbow striped gift wrap and sewed around it. This is just a cluster made with a VHS tape top and some of this I think it's called Punchinello. It's like sequin waist. We used to make hair bows out of this. Here is another playing card. This is a coloring book image of Grumpy Bear with some fabric. And then I found sort of a self-published, hand-drawn teddy bear coloring book from the 80s. And each journal will have one of those pages in it. Do you guys remember Jean Naute, the little perfume or body splash for girls? Made that into fodder. Some glitter ribbon. The strawberry shortcake fabric again, made into a pocket. This is that table topper, and I used my Big Shot and punched a cloud and sewed it down and put some glitter ribbon. This is just a little journaling page. And this is a dot matrix printer index card. A little enclosure card another trivia card, and a babysitter's note sheet. I don't know that this is 80s. It might have been 90s, but it looks 80s. And in the 80s, you either babysat or you were babysat. I feel like babysitting was big in the 80s. And there were movies made about it. It was just a big deal. Here's the other side of that little Miss book. This is some elastic that I guess you would make into a belt or suspenders. This is the Little People book. This is a fold-out page, and I sewed this really fun silvery fabric to the edge. Smurf Barbie book. Another tissue cluster. I put a Cabbage Patch here, Cabbage Patch Baby. This is just cut out from an 80s magazine about Skippy peanut butter. This is a vintage crib sheet that I found at my craft reuse store, and I made journaling cards, shaped journaling cards out of it. And this is 80s wallpaper from an estate sale. A gift enclosure card. And this is very shiny plastic. It's less shiny on the back. I thought maybe if you wanted to journal on this, you can use a permanent marker or a paint pen. And I sewed some unicorns here. And here is authentic Garfield stationery. Fabric flip. This is some Snoopy shelf liner. And this was sent to me in Happy Mail this week. I think Naomi sent that to me. It's just a beautifully watercolor brushed index card. Here's an envelope. It says RAD. Another quiz card in here. And I got this from Stacy at Junkie Cat Junction. Each journal includes a vintage Disney from the 80s unused postcard. And most of them are Epcot. Evidently, whoever went there was really impressed by Epcot and bought all of the postcards. This is from a learning book that came with a pen called Questron. Do you guys remember that? It was one of those early forms of the pen that it would know what color you were touching on the page, and it would tell you if you were right or wrong. I remember being so fascinated by stuff like that in the 80s. This is from a Care Bears coloring book. It was already colored. This is a journaling card with some Kool-Aid fabric and vintage trim. Minnie Mouse stationery. And that's so 80s game sheet for scorekeeping. Here's the Care Bears coloring book. Some rainbow grid paper. I got this in Happy Mail. This is Barbie flannel fabric that I found at the reuse store, and I just sewed it onto glitter cardstock. And this is some reuse, there's a kitty cat here. This is reuse fabric as well, and I created shaped journaling cards. It's sticking to the fabric because this is jersey knit. So it picks up every little piece of dust. This is a Simplicity pattern envelope with a Holly Hobby quilt. And on the back, I just put some journaling space with some washi holding it down. A Peanuts page from a Peanuts book. The Wuzzles journaling card. And a vintage stationery from the Muppet Show. Here are some confetti flowers that I sewed down to the edge. This grid paper. 80s gift wrap. I had several of these sticker, I guess, backing when you would buy stickers in the 80s at Hallmark or American Greetings. And I just held on to them knowing I'd use them somehow. And I decided to create little flip pads out of them. There's 5 or 6 sheets on here. Just a fun way to use trash. This is a song from a songbook from the Broadway musical Annie. Couldn't have an 80s journal without Annie represented. And this is from a JCPenney catalog. This is like the danskin tights and leotards. And this is a page from that same catalog with some pajamas and underoos. This is a Superman card. I found this in an estate sale. It's like a trading card. And another My Little Pony journaling card. A Rubik's Cube on this page, and it folds all the way out. Sewing pattern instructions. Fabric tab on fluorescent paper. Oops, got a little bit of glue. This is from a Cabbage Patch pattern book, and it's showing the outfits when they're done. I don't know why these are just sitting in here. I guess they fell off of they must have fallen off of this side. This is, every journal will have a family circus, and another one of those sewing girls. This is like a planner page from 1986, a cluster. This is a New Kids on the Block card. Actually, this might be a sticker. Yes, this is a sticker. And a really fun playing card. This is a little critter book page. Just a really fun page to color in here with some journaling space. A fluorescent cluster. Another fodder piece. Of course, this is a bomb pop from the ice cream truck. Okay, every journal will have a paper doll outfit from a Barbie. I had 2 Barbie paper doll sets from my own childhood, and I've been holding on to them. What am I going to do with them? So I decided to share one outfit with each of you guys who ordered these. So this is the Western Barbie, I guess. Glued that down. Cabbage Patch bank. I think that's a bank. I created a Be Kind, Please Rewind sticker because, you know, these were on every VHS tape when you rented it. And then I found an 80s picture of Kmart, and I put Attention Kmart Shoppers. There's a blue light special on aisle 4 on there. How could I not include a Kmart reference in these? And some iridescent puffy heart stickers. Here's a popple. A dual or double pocket. Here's a straightening iron. Every journal will get a packet of Kool-Aid. This is not from the 80s. This is, you know, I bought these recently, so you can make the Kool-Aid if you want to. I feel like you kind of have to, so you can drink it while you're writing in your journal. And here's an ET trading card. I drank so much Kool-Aid as a kid. A Barbie trading card. These actually came out in the 90s, I think, but yeah, 1990. But I had a few that had 80s Barbies on them. And a vintage postcard with kittens. Way cool. A rainbow sticker. That's where those cards were from. Evidently, this fell off. A double layer lace. How 80s is that? Another little journaling space on the back of this pattern envelope. I sewed this really fun trim to the top of a pink index card. Here's a thank you note. And I could not find a copyright-free image of this, but I really wanted it in the journal, so I made my own. I made a hang in there poster. Do you guys remember seeing these in your classrooms, orthodontist office, dentist office? Guidance counselor's office. Normally it's a cat hanging from like a branch or a pole or something, like barely hanging on, but this is the closest I could find, but you get the picture. And then a Care Bears party invite. Another image from a catalog with PJs, and then another babysitter instruction page with some ombre ribbon on this pocket. That's it. This was Danielle. thank you so much for watching and sticking through to the end. Stay tuned for flip throughs of the other 7. Thanks for watching. Bye.